Hey folks, welcome to another WaterTrek 360. Today is a beautiful day. I'm in Bridgeport, Connecticut at Captain's Cove Marina. I'm with the Orbit Marine team and we're going to head out to do one of the local wrecks just south of Penfield Reef. There are hundreds of wrecks in Long Island Sound, so come with us and have some fun.
The Mary Alice was built as a private steam yacht called the Bernice in 1897 in Brooklyn, New York. She was renamed Onetta in 1907 and Mary Alice in 1910. With the need for patrol craft by the Navy in World War I, she was purchased on August 10, 1917, and commissioned as Section Patrol Vessel SP-397 and assigned to the 3rd Naval District patrolling Long Island Sound. In early October 1918, she was assigned as an escort for a new submarine, the USS O-13, SS-74. On October 5, 1918, while conducting pre-commissioning acceptance trials, the O-13 performed a submerged circular run off of Bridgeport, Connecticut. The submerged O-13 rammed Mary Alice amidships and holed her. She sank within a few minutes, 1,800 yards south of Penfield Reef Light. The O-13 quickly rescued her entire crew and there was no loss of life. For those unfamiliar with Long Island Sound diving, visibility can range from 7 to 8 feet to 0. It's cold and it's murky. For most of the wrecks, it's pretty important that you use a line reel so that you can find your way back to the anchor line. The Mary Alice sits in roughly 55 feet of water. She lies in a north-south direction. Since she was so close to the Black Rock and Bridgeport harbors and the Penfield Reef, which is a heavy shipping zone, she was wire dragged a couple years later, and the debris is spread over a wide area. The main portion of the wreck is pretty well broken down with mostly steel girders that range anywhere from 2 to 4 feet off the bottom, radiating in a north-south direction. The wreck has a lot of sharp, jagged edges of steel that protrude, and quite frankly, it is best to wear gloves on this wreck. So do as I say, not as I did. I did not wear gloves this day because I was running the camera, but inevitably I did cut myself. Another challenge with wrecks like the Mary Alice is silt. I try to carve out a place away from other divers and keep fin movement to a minimum. The most prominent features of the wreck are these large boilers that you're going to see here amidships that rise about 6 feet off the bottom, large cylinders covered in growth. The largest has a small section which you can poke your head inside, but again, with the jagged metal and edges, I wouldn't go inside. Wrecks in Long Island Sound, especially those closer to the Connecticut border, are best dove at slack high tide or on an incoming tide. Connecticut, which has so many rivers coming out of it, if you dive at a slack low tide or an outgoing tide, the visibility is just going to be terrible. As a side note, the O-13 SS-74, built by the Lake Torpedo Company of Bridgeport, Connecticut, was laid down in March of 1916, launched in December of 1917, and commissioned in November of 1918 after she rammed the Mary Alice. She went out to serve in the Caribbean and Pacific Canal zones, was decommissioned in 1923 in Philadelphia, kept in reserve, and then sold for scrap in 1930. I know that for many folks, diving the cold, dark, murky waters of Long Island Sound is not the most pleasant thing that they would like to do and prefer Caribbean, reef, clear water type diving. But it is the kind of diving I've been doing for over 40 years, and there are a lot of things to explore, especially in Long Island Sound, because as I mentioned, there are hundreds and hundreds of shipwrecks. If this is where you can dive, this is where you dive. If you take a compass reading and head east, there's a very wide debris field that's spread out over a few hundred square yards of flat sea bottom. This place has tons of things to find and explore and fish, and occasionally you might find a little interesting piece of history.
Hey folks, hope you enjoyed that little clip on the Mary Alice and some of the challenges of diving in Long Island Sound. Click like, click subscribe if you want to see more video. Do check out the links for some product compare and other wreck dives that we've done previously. And once again, until next time, go explore and get wet.